Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Alien vs Predator Galaxy YouTube channel. This is Aaron Percival, aka Corporal Hicks, and joining me, as always, are my fellow squad mates.
Adam Zeller, aka Ridgetop.
Eric Adams, aka Xenomorphine.
And we're back with another motion tracker video talking about some of the latest news to happen in the Alien and Predator franchise. All of it. Although specifically for this video, we are talking Alien, and it is a... Is it a stretch to say much anticipated because of the amount of stuff that we've actually had going off lately? Not very much.
Yeah, I would say since it's been announced, people have been interested, but we've only found out about it very recently.
Yeah, it was announced some point last year. I think we got our first proper snippet of gameplay.
Wasn't it last summer it was announced?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So it was announced a little while ago.
Yeah, but last year.
Yeah.
And the first snippet of gameplay we got was in the Disney Games presentation expo thing. Was that November time, September time, something around there, somewhere around the end of the year. Yeah, and it was literally about 20 seconds worth of footage.
Yeah.
But we got the first proper gameplay trailer for Aliens Dark Descent earlier this week. It did make me tickle, actually, because it came like 2 hours after I made a news post going, they've updated the product page on the official publisher website, which is Focus. It says June release. This is probably going to be accurate because it's the publisher website, but we don't know when yet. And then they dropped the trailer with an actual release date. So that made me chuckle. It was one of those silly little things. But
scheduling.
I've been really looking forward to more information about this game. You know, we've known very little about it, but the details that we got from the initial sort of hands-on impressions that the game journos had at some point last year, those little bits of detail made me really, really interested in what this had to offer. So it is one of those ones I've kind of been clamoring for that little bit of information on. What about you guys? So prior to the trailer, you know, what were you thinking? What were you anticipating in regards to Dark Descent? Were you looking forward to it? Did we ambivalent?
Yeah, I mean the game was kind of a surprise so soon after Fireteam Elite, but then we found out I was a real-time action strategy game, I think they call it. Kind of a top-down isometric view, which is kind of different from what we're used to with Alien games, but I think that could also make it really interesting. And you know, Focus is a good publisher. Like you said, Aaron, we had some behind closed doors gameplay impressions last fall with some of the games journalists, and some of the things they had said they had seen were really interesting. So now that we have a bit more of a look at some of the gameplay, I'm only more hyped for it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, since I've discovered this was a RTS/XCOM alike, I've been looking forward to this one a lot more than, you know, Fireteam, before that Colonial Marines. First person to some degree, third person is okay for if you want to give emphasis to horror, but most of these games tend to be about action. This certainly is about giving emphasis to action. And when you're dealing with alien swarms, that kind of isometric view, it caters far more to that. And from what I've seen in this, animation-wise, it's got a lot in common with the remake of the Alien Breed trilogy. The way the lights sweep over areas, it's very atmospheric. But I am definitely looking forward to this because this seems to cater more for that sort of tactical strategy thing rather than just going into an area all guns blazing sort of thing. Those kind of games, it's very hard to differentiate between like just another Doom clone, whereas these, we have not had many top-down sort of things. Last one I remember that's Alien specific with that mobile Alien Isolation sequel thing, which I liked. And yeah, it's been surprising this has not been more exploited, especially for PC, although this is for consoles as well. So I'm looking forward to this a great deal. And as the trailer will put out, it comes with at least one mechanic, which I think is quite revolutionary for this style of game.
Okay, so let's watch the trailer then. Pick out any of the things that we're interested in or worried about, and see how we're feeling at the end of it. So let's go.
Hello, and welcome to this exclusive first look at Aliens: Dark Descent. In this short preview,
This is what I'm worried about. This is the only thing I'm worried about. Is
the non-alien enemies.
Yeah. Notice the logo. I wonder how much customization we're going to get.
That marine ship was really cool. It was a new design as well.
There's definitely the gear customization is reflected in what they look like.
You are the commander. Marines are your weapon.
Yeah, like you said, Eric, it's just really atmospheric.
You are tasked with investigating a sinister uprising that caused a
It's the look at how it plays over the hive resin. It's beautifully done.
The lighting looks great.
And when you're doing Alien, you need that sort of thing could be hiding in the shadows feel.
Yeah, it does Fog of War really well.
Even the way the sparks from welding and things like that, and the little computer LEDs have a little glow about them.
It has the right look.
Definitely.
The aesthetic is there. Yeah, it's nailing the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Tread carefully though, because death is permanent in Dark Descent. Losing a Marine in combat.
Love this. Love that with the alien dragon.
Yeah. And it slowed down, reflecting it's carrying a weight with it, which was nice.
I wasn't expecting a colony.
Do you see the little map table there?
Yeah.
Nice little call out to aliens.
You can see one of the Marines there has the phase plasma pulse rifle from Colonial Marines too.
On which bit? I missed that.
It was the one on the left.
I'll scroll back in a minute when it's done.
Well, we saw him in action when you
saw some of the purple stuff, but
yeah,
I like the key art there too.
Yeah, that's good key art.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's cool that you might be interacting with some of the colonists.
Now you see there where it said radio backpack, like first thing. That's like that guy has clearly got those antenna masks coming up. Not this guy, one of the others.
Yeah.
So it's clearly whatever you equip them with is reflected in the actual character models, which is nice. So I'm assuming there'll be some cosmetic things, I'm guessing.
Looks like Connor has an isolation pistol as well. That's at least what
that looks like a Frontier pistol there, doesn't it? Yeah. We haven't seen a lot of the depth of the customizations. That's something I'm really curious about. I'm glad to see it's there. But there's not. The trailer hasn't shown us a great deal, but I hadn't noticed the phase plasma pulse rifle before, so that pleases me. All I'd really seen was the standard stuff, so that's something I'm really curious to learn more about. Is the depth to the customization? What we can do with their appearances and stuff, because I feel like this game, with its big cell mechanic of permadeath, I feel like there needs to be some
emotional attachment
to your units, and being able to customize them and their loadout and their outfit, their appearance as well, I think goes really factors into that sort of attachment that you can have to them.
Well, that's what they do with the XCOM games. For people who've played those, you can spend a lot of time investing in training, giving them the unlocking equipment for them, and when that member goes, you feel it. And of course, if you spent a lot of time customizing their appearance as well, because it's not multiplayer, but it's nice to have those options, right?
They especially for people in one Aliens game, the DS one, right, Aaron? The permadeath with the Marines.
Yes, that had but you didn't really customize them as you went along. But when you lost a character in Infestation, you lost that character. And the sort of the replay value of keeping your characters alive or replaying if you lost them was that they'd have different dialogue throughout the story.
Oh, that's
You know, it was a really good game, actually. Really good game.
And I imagine, like Fireteam Elite, there will be some novelty value in if you allow people different cosmetic options. There are going to be a lot of players out there, fans, who will want to like recreate Vasquez or Drake or Ripley or something. It's just nice to have that stuff because people will be making screenshots, videos. They'll be using it just like they have with Fireteam. I will say this is being labeled by a lot of fans as, oh, it's an XCOM clone. I have to disagree with that because a big part of XCOM is you have like certain numbers of tiles. So you have to move the character and you have to make judgment calls over how many action points you spend. You know, will they be able to fire a gun when they reach here? Blah, blah, blah. This is more freeform. This is more like Alien Breed. So you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, because
so
in XCOM you can freeze time, right? And in this one,
yeah, it's turn-based. This is not turn-based. This is all complete real time. It does have the slow down time option, which I hope is not like you have to spend points to do it. I hope that's available all the time. But what I was going to say earlier, what I was alluding to rather, the thing that I think is quite revolutionary about this, you do not typically have in RTS games. They negate micromanagement to a point, but micromanagement has always been the bane of an RTS, or like things with multiple team members. In this, you're basically in the role of Gorman. You are telling the team collectively, I want that door to be opened, or I like in the film he says, right, I want, you know, squads falling back to the APC, and Apone would have been the guy on the ground allocating those tasks to different team members. Here we've got a similar thing. You're telling the team to do something, and the AI, I would hope there's like an Apone type character there, but the AI is then designating, like it says in the narration, it said it's designating whichever character suits the task best. The game figures it out for us. So it's great because it makes everything far more intuitive. You can focus on the bigger picture, which I imagine for, you know, you're in an alien territory, you're going to get swarms coming in. You're going to need to focus on the bigger picture. You say, you lob a grenade over there, and the game will sort out who does it. That's fantastic. And also you've got the slow down time as opposed to pause. People be familiar with that with the Battlefleet Gothic Warhammer games, which was like it focused on spaceships where you press the space bar and things would slow down because you needed that. You needed to tell the computer, right, I want this subsystem targeted and whatever. And if it was in real time, you wouldn't be able to do that. This is trying to emulate how it would be like in real life if you were just telling the team vocally, right, I want a guy over there doing this, blah, blah, blah. To do that with a mouse and keyboard takes longer. It would be nice if the game also had voice recognition. That would be beautiful. Because the technology's here now. Yeah, Alexa, Siri, we've got the ability. I don't think this game is going to do it, but like for the future, I imagine there will be that possibility for future games. But I really love how this has just eradicated micromanagement. You just focus on the story, focus on the mission instead of focusing on it as a video game.
I think Tindalos also did one of the, or maybe a couple of the Battlefleet Gothic games as well.
That would make sense then, yeah. If they did, yeah.
I mean, removing the micromanagement is great because with this kind of game, you want the tension, you want the fear.
Yes.
And micromanagement is frustration, I find. So dishing it out to the AI is great because it does emphasize that sort of field commander sensation, but it also means you're not faffing around, getting frustrated, trying to make sure the right person's doing the right thing in the middle of a situation, and it pulls you out, you know. It
also depends how good the AI is.
Of course.
RTS games, of course, are notorious for, not all of them, but a lot of pathfinding, yeah. So if they get the pathfinding right, and I'm guessing...
Well, it's not really pathfinding so much, is it? Because you're directing them a little bit at a time.
Yeah, but they decide how to go. But I think this way they've cheated a little bit because almost everything here, when you see combat scenes, most of them are just down corridors. So I think they don't have to worry about that. But I think as long as they got the pathfinding okay, it's this how the AI decides who to allocate a task to. Because I could see if it's bad AI, it might allocate the worst possible member to do it. I mean, and it would have its own reasons to do it, but you'd hope in fingers crossed, they've refined that down to, as long as they've got that, this could be really nice. In the actual gameplay, couple of little animation things worried me. Like there's the scene where you see them fighting on a street. One of the aliens does this sort of Street Fighter blur to the side. I don't know if that's like a game ability or if it's just really tacky animation. I don't know, but I did notice that, and it did make me go, "Oh, is that like from an alpha build, or is that deliberate?" But aside from that, most of the visuals are beautifully rendered. Also, I did notice in the team layout screens, you do have some members being called a coward. Some person doesn't have good eyesight. Now, I like the I also noticed another screen that says bravery statistics. So I hope it will be like when you're playing the Alien RPG. Each character has their own statistics, and if a character has low bravery, their leadership will break, and they'll become like Lambert, and they go, "Oh shit," and they'll try and retreat to a corner or something. They'll go a bit Hudson-like, or someone who is bravery, you'll be able to still give them orders, they'll carry it out, but if their leadership is broken, you won't be able to do it. Little moments like that can shoot replay value up so much because it becomes unpredictable. And of course, we don't know if they're going to be multiplayer, so we're going to assume for the moment it's just single player, hopefully with a skirmish mode. But yeah, little statistics like that. It's not just going to be modifying the weapons and equipment. It's going to be about the individual characters and whether they can get rid of certain traits or heighten them through the actual gameplay experience for those characters, which would also be nice.
Yeah, and it seems to have the atmosphere and the darker tone down, darker tone compared to Fireteam Elite. It seems like, and it seems more in line with the Colonial Marines aesthetic and tech of the second film. So maybe it doesn't take place too far after that, whereas Fireteam Elite seemed a bit further. But yeah, I'm quite excited. I'm looking forward to playing the game sooner than we thought. It'll be in June. I was kind of thinking it might be in the fall initially because there was that leak about those Alien Day announcements a while back that said this was coming in the fall. So nice to know. Just in about 3 months we'll be playing it.
So the only thing I'm worried about at this point is the mutants and the human enemies, and I guess that's just because we haven't really got a good look at them and we don't know how they fit into the narrative. I don't mind fighting human enemies. I never have, or humanoid enemies, but it's just a bit of hesitation not knowing about them because aesthetically, I don't know what to make of these weird.
They look
capsules.
they look like
It
typical sci-fi techno zombies because
they look like they're from
his bald head with cut marks.
They look like they're from those Resistance games, if you guys ever played those. But yeah, they've piqued my curiosity, to have a different type of enemy that's not some pathogen goo monster that's like, oh, this is totally different. It's like, what is this? So
it'll be pathogen being injected into them.
Well, there'll be something. I think. I mean, they say it right at the start. They introduce the story. They say there's been what they call it, a vicious incident or
uprising or something.
Something has happened. They've broken. Maybe they were like manual labor things. I don't know. They've broken out. So I suspect what it is. You go to the facility, and they are part of the familiarization tutorial type thing at the start, where these are enemies with ranged weapons. You go around a corner, the game is showing you what you do when you encounter an enemy, and it will be them. And as the game goes along, by probably mission 3 or 4, you won't be finding them. It'll just be aliens, or it'll just be whatever else. I don't think they're going to feature in it hugely because you don't see much of them in this trailer. So I suspect it'll be you deal with them, then it's the aftermath of whatever they've caused.
They might just be trying to hold that back, though.
Yeah,
As a
Yeah.
keeping it
surprise.
mysterious.
It might also be that you'll find out they were trying to keep the aliens contained, and you kill them off, and you go, "Oh shit! Now we've got to do that." Something like
I
that.
would like that kind of thing. I like the thing where there's misunderstandings and oh shit, we're the bad guys. Are we the baddies? You know, that kind of thing. So I'm hesitant, but I'm also interested because I've actually really come around to the concept of like the bugmen and you know, the pathogen mutations a lot more these last few years. So we'll see. But it's the only thing I'm really worried about. I'm really interested in seeing more of the mechanics, seeing more of like these stats and characteristics, because things like the sanity of the characters was something that was called out really early on in those hands-on impressions, and I want to learn more about that. I'm just so glad we do not have to wait long. You know, June, 3 months time. That's brilliant.
I mean, all of us have played the Alien role-playing game. We know there are moments in there where you don't necessarily control. It'll be like the moderator, you'll do a dice roll, and they'll be like, you don't trust anyone, or you think everyone's your enemy. It could be something like that. So you could have someone on your team, and they just break, and you've got friendly fire breaking out. It could be a moment like that, and you can't account for it. It will just be a literal roll of the dice going on in the background of the AI calculations. That's not just the only thing. It's sanity. What if there's someone who's got a really keen interest in biology? Maybe they'll linger around those stasis vats of face huggers a little too long. It could be all manner. Bravery isn't the only psychological thing, but I think from what I've seen, I get the feeling they have played the Alien RPG and they're trying to bring in some of those mechanics into it, because all of those statistics things you're seeing a percentage with. So it's like 10% brave or whatever. And I assume they'll either get that through experience, or maybe there'll be some equipment you give them. Maybe if they're a medic, you give them extra field kits, they become a little more, proficient at whatever it is. There'll be ways to put statistics up and down, and then things will screw up and it will make them afraid of things or whatever. That's what I'm interested in. Like, how does the game cause that to happen? Because those are consequences. It's not just like you're playing Lara Croft. Lara Croft is Lara Croft through the missions. Lara Croft in this version will be changing. Her personality would be changing with experience and gear. That's what we've got going on here. So what you start off with in a mission won't necessarily be what you have at the end of it, even if you get those guys to survive. It's getting them to survive intact. That's going to add another separate layer, and that will add another lot of replay. But I really hope it's not just single player missions. There'll be at least skirmish, like you get on in Warhammer, like Space Hulk. You'll be given like a random, it'll be the AI makes up a map as it goes. Every single time will be different, and you'll just have to send a team from start to end. Things like that, even if we don't get multiplayer.
Right, well, let's wrap up here, guys, because Adam does need to shoot, actually. But yeah, I think we're all at an surprisingly optimistic point for the game, and it's nice. It is genuinely nice at the minute to be excited for something. I was already looking forward to it. The trailers made me more excited for it. So bring it on, Tindalos. Bring it on, Focus. Do give us that skirmish mode. Everything's doing it now.
Yeah.
But yeah. Any final words, you guys?
Well, I'll be going to E3 this year, so if I get to play it a little bit early, I will let you guys know what I think.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, it's just refreshing to see. I don't think we've had a game like this, an RTS isometric thing, especially for PC at least. The consoles had the AVP RTS.
This seems completely different, really.
Yeah. However, this is like, it will be a unique Alien gameplay experience. We haven't had anything like it, so yeah.
And I don't think I've seen Eric excited for a game, so this is actually quite refreshing as well.
It's unique spin for an Alien game, yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Let us know how you're feeling about Aliens Dark Descent. Is your opinion changed now that we've seen more with the trailer and the narrative, I guess? So sound off in the comment section below and let us know. This has been Corporal Hicks.
Ridgetop.
Xenomorphin.
signing off.